Been a lot of opinions. There's been a lot of opinions out there. But go ahead. Yeah.
A lot of opinions, yes, whether you're on the side of he needs to get right or on the side of the NFL, it's a witch hunt. They're just going for Jawaan Taylor kind of thing. So we're going to begin with, so JD had a video of him kind of examining Jawaan Taylor's play during the game as an example. They didn't call a penalty here. So this is just an example of
it. So before we play the video, I just want to kind of, talk a little bit about the premises. So, we've discussed that Jawaan Taylor being targeted, okay, and people are using that word targeted, being picked on. We're saying all these different things. And I think the point that I'm making is, listen, we understand because the first game, they have called it, they have been looking after this guy, then they're going to be flag happy. They really are. And so guess what? The opposing team are going to be ready to be in the ref's ear that he's lined up all sides. Okay. So we can't be so upset and so mad and not objective to seeing that Jawaan may be lined up all sides. That, to me, it doesn't do us any good to scream that they're not calling it for anybody else. If anything, we're screaming that, hey, you know what? Keep it consistent. Not saying that guy's not right, okay, because he is wrong, because he is lined up, then that's where we need to keep it. But we need to hold those things accountable. I think Andy did a great job of doing that when he put this whole mastermind together to put somebody else into the game, line up the same way, and see what they do to call that, right? Well, of course, the other team's not going to scream about it because they're worried about Jawaan. Jawaan's a starting right tackle for us, right? So they're not worried about somebody else lining up. They just know that from week one and so enough, they feel like he's criminal with it, right? So that's all I wanted to say. So go ahead and show the video. So we'll go ahead. We'll address it.
So we're sitting here in the second quarter, 11:56. Jawaan Taylor, this should be a legal formation. It should be. Okay, the rule is the rule. We understand that. I don't think anybody is arguing against that point of it being the rule is the rule. The problem goes, we're not consistent in enforcing this, not just with him, but with other teams. If you're not consistent with it, then that's a problem with the officiating. Pure and simple.
So JD, you made a great point there in saying that, a penalty is a penalty, and there's a reason why we have rules in the NFL, and there's a reason why we have rules all over the place to kind of keep things in order. And that's not on us, right? Like you kind of made the point there. It's like the NFL has problems with consistency issues. It's not they're just going at Jawaan Taylor. No, they're calling it in certain spots. They're not calling it all over the league, and that's the real thing that I think Andy wants to amplify. Is like you're not calling it for everyone.
Right. And Andy's doing a good job of really addressing the inconsistency with the NFL officiating. Okay. I think that's the important part. And so if you're calling out the referees and the NFL officiating for being incompetency, then that goes into the bigger picture of like, hey, listen, if we're going to make this a thing, okay, as it is a thing, and it is a rule, we understand what the rules are, we're going to play within the rules, fine. No problem with that. We don't have no problem with playing within the confines of the rules or what the rules are. But when you do that, you make sure that you're calling everybody for this as well. Okay? You can't have one crew come in, all of a sudden they're calling things just for our guy. You got to do it all the way consistently across the board. Matter of fact, y'all need to be up in New York talking and discussing these things on a weekly basis that we are going to emphasize, making sure that each tackle is lined up the right way. And the thing is, look, hey, don't take what I'm saying. Don't take from what we're saying about this, because we're being truthful about it. I want you to listen to somebody else. I think we have somebody else up here that's making a point of what we're saying.
Yeah, here's Jawaan Taylor on if he feels like he's being targeted.
Do you feel like you're being picked on personally, or officials are looking at your game versus other guys differently?
I wouldn't say picked on. Definitely, I know I definitely got to clean it up, so I wouldn't just blame the officials. So no.
Do you watch a lot of games?
Oh yeah, I watch a lot of film. Yeah.
I mean, do you pay attention to the other offensive tackles too, and where they're lining up?
Sometimes not really. I just worry about myself and helping my team win, honestly.
That was our friend Aaron Ladd from KSHB. JD, it sounds pretty much like what you've been saying all along since going back to week 1 when this targeting stuff first started to come on. It seems like Jawaan Taylor's right with you on this whole thing that he needs to fix it.
Yeah, look, I even put a tweet out saying, hey, man, you keep doing it until they call it, big fella. You keep doing it until they call it. And so they called it. So now it's like, all right, well, shoot, now you caught. They're calling it now. Now it's time to clean it up, like he said. Now it is. Now it's time to clean it up. And so to me, that's what a pro is. That's what a professional football player should be. And so when a guy understands that there's things that he needs to do to get better, he addresses it. That's exactly what he should do. Because what that does is makes not only him better, but it makes the entire team better. See, because the way I look at it, the Chiefs have a high standard, okay? And make no mistake about it. You know, we're not going to play in the dirt, in the mud with everybody else, okay? We're Super Bowl champs, and we're Super Bowl champs for a reason. And I think because of who we are, the organization, guys being professional, you know, and it goes across the board, Jawaan Taylor's like, look, I put that onus on me. I put that onus on me. And so I commend him for that. That's exactly what it should do. As a player, that's what we do. We can't keep crying about, oh, okay, they pick it on me. But okay, there's some things, you know, as everybody should do. We should be able to clean our own house. So I do. I commend that. I look at him as somebody who has a lot of integrity in saying those things, and I agree with it. So that's why, to me, Jawaan Taylor, just with those answers that he made in himself, and I'm a huge fan, because that's exactly where we should go as players and, you know, as people as well. But also, too, keep raising high hell if they're not calling it for other teams, okay? And we should be on the sideline anytime we see an opposing team tackle backed up doing that. We should be in that ref's ear as well. We should be calling it out. Hey, what's going on? Watch this guy. He's off, you know, he's offsides. You know, he's getting a false start. He's sitting in the backfield. We should be that team, the opposing team, that's there in that ref's ear, making sure he's making those calls. So,
yeah, I know a lot of fans, like in our comments this week, they bring up Philadelphia, Lane Johnson, and my retort is, yeah, Lane Johnson's doing it. And if you look across the league, and I think after our game, I saw everyone was just taking screenshots of other team games on Sunday, saying, "Hey, look at this guy, look at this tackle, they're off." And like, you're right, but we can't really control it. Andy Reid can't control it, but what we can control is Jawaan Taylor's alignment and our offensive line's alignment. So, let's control what we can control. Andy can talk to him about this, and then once Andy gets him right, and the kind of what we talked about in our postgame show, overcorrect the issue so much so that we can call out other teams' tackles, like, look, he's not aligned properly, and if they're not doing it, then I mean, they're going to have to. If we're playing by the rules, then we can call out other teams are doing it. So it's like, let's control what we can control, and that's Andy hopefully getting Jawaan Taylor to correct it. And it sounds, based on that soundbite, he knows he's wrong.
Right, bottom line. And the thing is, we could take that little iPad that they have on the sideline and go straight to the ref like, look, you see this guy? This is what he's been doing all this time. I want you to watch what he's doing, okay? And he's criminal with it. Lane Johnson's been criminal with it. I don't understand why they're not making that call, but they need to. And somebody needs, like I said, needs to be raising all type of sand about why they're not calling it on him. And I think we all on the same page. And now hopefully that's as fans, that's where we are with it as well. Okay, so, but yeah, but I will say this, and I think you got another picture on this as well. I know we're taking kind of a long time about it, but we talk. But part of addressing this issue is look how far back Trey Smith is. Okay, I was noticing somebody Trey is back there. Look where Donovan's lined up. Donovan and Trey are almost lined up on the same level. So what Trey backing up, that makes Jawaan back up even further. So I think sometimes it ain't Jawaan in itself, but also, too, helping Trey out. Like, hey, Trey, man, move up just a little bit, okay? Or Jawaan that needs to know he can't line himself up on Trey, okay? He needs to know that Trey sits back a little bit further than what he does in that. And it's just that awareness, So we want to make sure we're clean all the way across. We don't want to hear nothing from nobody. We don't want to see no flags. We don't see no touchdowns taken off the board. We don't want to see any of that, okay? Because the thing is, we got so many people out here screaming about, all the Chiefs, they get all the calls. The referees are on our side. Well, we know they're not, for one. But also, two, the referees are thinking, man, the Chiefs are getting everything. We need to make some more calls on our side. So it's a catch-22. We're never going to get whatever we want to get. The thing we can only do is control ourselves. That's it. That's all we need to do is control what we can control, like you said, and make sure we move forward from that point. Bottom line. So,
yeah.
So
talk about Lane Johnson specifically. I know where everyone keeps going to that example, just because he gets praised for his, get offs and it's just like. But is there something to like in the NBA? Superstars get those calls, like Giannis. If he goes to the lane, and he may get touched or breathed on, he's gonna get a foul call. Does that similar stuff go on in the NFL? Like with this, for example, would you say that's a superstar call because Lane Johnson is more of a household name than Jawaan Taylor? No,
I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that at all. I think sometimes what they're doing, and I see why Lane is jumping. I see why he's actually getting the jump on it. If you watch the right guard, okay, and what they've been doing over the past years is, for almost a silent count and whatnot, like the right guard will indicate to the center when the quarterback is ready to receive the ball. And so Lane can see that outside his eyes. He can't see the ball. He can't see the center. So he does it all based off of the guard right beside him. So when you see the guard turn around and come back and does like this, that's when Lane goes. That's the movement he sees. And so he's thinking, and they're thinking, well, when the guard does this, the ball's being snapped and Lane's being snapped at the same time. But actually, Lane is a lot faster than when the ball is coming out. The center is coming out. You follow me?
Yep.
So the center is actually coming back slower on his reaction because he got to bring the ball up. Lane sees this, the movement, or maybe the turn of the guard coming back around, indicating that the quarterback is ready, and he knows this is coming out next to indicate snap the ball. Well, Lane is on that one as opposed to the snap of the ball from the center. So if somebody goes in details and let these official knows, like, look, he's snapping off what the guard is doing. He's not snapping off the ball from when the center snaps it. He's doing it from the guard. They'll call it each and every time. They would. They would.
For example, Monday night, is Todd Bowles not telling them, hey, look at the right tackle? I mean, he's moving faster than the ball sending. I mean, like, you think Todd Bowles, that's a seasoned veteran coach. I mean, you think he'd be all over that, just like the way the last few teams have been all over Jawaan Taylor. You feel like Lane Johnson would be a guy that everyone's kind of like pinpointed on his fast get off.
I don't know. I'm sure they've said it. I'm sure they have said it. My thing is, I'd make the case like, hey, he's going off of the guard doing that. He's a lot faster. I know it's hard to tell in real time with a naked eye, but he is actually offsides. He is false starting, okay, and y'all should call it. So I would be in their ear each and every time. I'm like, watch it. Watch when the guard does this. Lane's going. It's not off the center based off the snap. I know you think the snap and everything is happening all, simultaneously, but it's not. Lane is actually a lot faster than the snap is coming off, which in a sense is offsides, which it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So hopefully, at least talk about just us and cleaning up our house. Hopefully, our house is, when we get into Sunday night, hopefully we're going to be playing on the road in MetLife. Hopefully it's
right. Hey man, spotless. That's what we looking on, spotless. Okay. Like I said, as Chiefs fans and everybody, man, we have a higher standard than everybody else. Okay. Everybody's going to be targeting and looking at us, thinking we're getting the calls and whatnot. They're always going to scream that. They're always going to scream it. I don't want us getting to the point where we're not objective in, what we're saying and thinking he's right. And then Jawaan Taylor doesn't work on something that he thinks he's not wrong on. Right. So, but we know that he said it himself. So, I trust that. I do. I trust that. Yeah. So that's what championship teams do.
And I feel like he's kind of like, I know he wasn't on our Super Bowl team last year, but like that response right there, I mean, he could easily play the woe is me card, like, oh man, they're targeting me kind of thing. That's that's a championship response right there. That's a gamer right there.
That's exactly how it works. That's how it works.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out the best clips from Chief Concerns. And if you prefer to listen to the show, subscribe and follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and anywhere else you get your podcasts.